10 Players News was asked our views on Bradley vs Mayweather, and possible opponents for Bradley. So we're gonna speak a little on this. But first we wanna give props to Marlonia76, Beware 365, Royal Justice, Clay Hemorich, Rocco Main, and a coupler guys with names that can't be pronounced. Good call on the Bradley Marquez fight. And no doubt, a holler of appreciation to the South Bronx, Mr. Joe Kangri, C Money number 5, and DJ Neptune NYC. Much respect. We also want to give props to Bradley for fighting a good fight. But we want to say this about Bradley. Bradley's a guy 10 Players has supported for a while now. Even when people were bashing him like crazy. Now Bradley gives one nice performance. And a shitload of fans claim Bradley deserves a shot with Floyd. We respect this. We all have our opinions and personal views. As far as ours go, Bradley deserves to be on the list of possible opponents. We can even understand claiming Bradley should be in the top 3 future choices. But for 10 Players to act like Bradley is suddenly some superstar that Floyd must fight to prove himself would be crazy shit for us. We're not saying there are no question marks on Floyd's history. But his resume still dwarfs Bradley's. So he doesn't owe Bradley shit if these guys are gonna openly claim they're fighting for money these days. What the fuck is up with that? Keep that shit in house. But it still wasn't long ago that they claimed Floyd would never fight Canelo. Even Stephen A. Smith, who loves the shit out of Floyd, claimed Canelo's one big boy Floyd should stay away from. Floyd got the win, and Stephen was happy as shit. But now people are already acting like Floyd's win over Canelo was no big deal. There's always some guy Floyd must fight. Then when he wins, it doesn't count for much. Now Bradley's the next guy many fans feel Floyd must fight. Out of Bradley's last 3 fights, he got a questionable decision over Pac-Man, and was just falling all over his face against Provodnikov. Now don't get us wrong, because we're big Bradley fans, and the fact that Bradley gets up off the canvas is one of the things that makes him interesting to watch. He has a lot of heart. Maybe too much. Because when your speech was just slurring for 2 months, and you claim they'll have to take you out on a stretcher before you lose. That might be too much heart. Maybe heart is doing what Alvarado did. It's just a matter of perspective. But we call boxing the fight game because that's what it is. And there are rules. Bradley won the game against Provodnikov, but in our view, Provodnikov won the fight. We hope this shit isn't too deep for some fans to get. But that fight ended when Bradley was beat. So he was fortunate the game was 12 rounds. We definitely had Tim up on the scorecards, and he clearly won the game. But he wasn't lasting another half of round. And Bradley knew it. Now he fights a good fight against Marquez, and we get emails from fight fans acting like Bradley's a boxing god people aren't respecting. This kind of shit makes us think Floyd's a lot better than he gets credit for. People still claim Floyd lost to Custio. Even after Floyd rematched to silence the doubters. Yet there's this double standard we're seeing after the Marquez fight where Bradley doesn't have to do this. He's just supposed to get Floyd. Because he's somehow possibly on Floyd's level all of a sudden. But can you imagine if Floyd fought the same fight Bradley did against Provodnikov? Can you imagine if it was Floyd falling all over the ring, and smiling on his knee like a beat man? I mean seriously think about it. Floyd would never hear the last of that shit. And he'd have to rematch. Or no one would buy his fights. But Bradley can do this shit and deserves Floyd to fans, because he fought one good fight. Bradley's had way too many questionable fights. We know why most fans don't want to see Bradley rematch Provodnikov and Pac-Man. It's because they want to see him against Floyd, and fear him getting his fucking ass kicked and ending up exempt from a possible showdown with Mayweather. And they want to see this shit. We want to see it too. But we just say we'd love to see Floyd and Bradley get it on because it's an interesting matchup. Not because Bradley deserves it. And we're not hating on Bradley. He has a lot of heart, and a chance against anyone. But people are just pushing this fight way too fast. Let the shit build. Mayweather Bradley could be some big shit if Bradley convincingly beats another 2 big names. We're not saying he needs a knockout. Just a win where people have no question in their minds that he dominated. Then fans can say, whoa, Bradley's really good. Step up to the plate before retiring Floyd. But don't expect it. Floyd's not interested in top rank. But if Bradley can get 2 more convincing wins in, then exit from Arum, it would be a proper build-up to a showdown with Mayweather. Bradley's in a great position, and since he said he's willing to go up in weight to fight Canelo, he has a shitload of fights at his fingertips, from guys moving up from 140, to fighters at 154. But we like Bradley fights, and any matchup with him is a good one. We'd love to see Bradley Thurman. But if Bradley wants to make a smart move all around, Cotto is a great choice. Because that's a guy Floyd has fought. And even though techniques are the architecture of fights, fans will be comparing the performances. And that's a fight Cotto's coming to win. Not only that, but Cotto just trimmed down the cupcake donut belly, and had the largest non-pay-per-view numbers. So that's a pay-per-view fight. Beat Miguel, then you've got some drama. But Bradley better jump on that shit fast, because Canelo's in the hunt for Miguel. Or Bradley can fight Thurman. Beat Thurman, and it doesn't do shit for Bradley. Only hardcore fight fans know Thurman. Get your ass kicked by Thurman, and Bradley goes down several notches, while Thurman becomes the man. That's some risky shit, and the very reason Thurman is ducked so much. That, along with bringing money to the table. But in between, there's always the drama between Top Rank and Golden Boy. Still, no matter what happens, Bradley's on the right path to Floyd. As long as he keeps winning. But Floyd's not bending to Top Rank, so we doubt he's one of Bradley's next 2 fights. But Bradley has a lot of possibilities, and the truth is, for a guy who's not a knockout artist, we like his fights. But we're yet to say we want to pay for them though. Hit the sports bar for that shit. I mean, come on. We love the sweet science, but sometimes it would be nice to see fighters use the sweet science to actually dismantle and stop a motherfucker. Or a good rumble once in a while. Hagler Hearns Louis Vitali stuff. Some Trinidad Mayorga, Shane Margarito type shit. We don't want to pay to see Roy Jones get KO'd within 2 rounds. It's sad that all our favorite fights were free. While we pay for the bullshit ones. We'd rather pay for Hay vs Chisora. At least we'll see someone hit the canvas. But Mayweather Bradley is one we'd shell out for without expecting a knockout. We'll just pray it's not a fucking snore fest.